And so it begins, our journey to Scotland! Here we go, we're on the plane. This man had 4 blankets, he was that cold. When I pack too much and it starts to hurt my back, Robert carries everything. We're on the road! Bit of a rocky start. I lost the entire list of everything we're meant to do in the next 4 days, but I had taken a picture, so mild panic attack and crying in the rental car bathroom? Maybe, but are we on the road nonetheless? Yes. Look how green it is. Green. Robert's even green. Alright guys, we've actually decided to stay in England. We just bought a cute little house. It's really sweet. It's called Blenheim Palace. Yes, we've been here, I believe, twice before. But it is Robert's favorite palace. So we are back again. And it's not raining this time. As I said, our first stop was Blindheim Palace. It is Robert's favorite place because of the gardens and the history. It's Winston Churchill's birthplace, so it's a National Heritage Site. Okay, so in order to save time, I'm just going to talk over the pictures because it's already quite a long video and I don't want to take up too much time with pictures with music and then me talking. So, our first stop was in the Cotswolds. It's still technically in England. It's a great place. We went to this lovely manor. We went to a couple castles. I have a list if you actually want to know the list. But Blenheim, obviously, as you heard from the last video, Robert's favorite spot. So we took a lot of pictures in the gardens. That's their dining room. They have like these cool fountains and stuff. This is our first time going to Blenheim in the spring. So we'd been at Christmas and in the fall. So that's why we went back, obviously. And then we merged right into the Cotswolds. So the Cotswolds are known for their intense beauty and their picturesque villages. So the first day we tried to find a lot of castles and nature, but it was also all about the villages, right? So there's like these little tiny towns with like just like one-way streets. And it honestly, most of them looked like we're going to see a guy like riding his bike with a kid riding his bike in a tweed suit saying like, you know, VE Day, victory in Europe, the Germans have surrendered. Like that's what it felt like we were going to see, like riding like the bike with the big handlebars and passing out newspapers. They were adorable. Robert also got a new camera for work, and so he was playing with it on this trip to practice with lighting and stuff. So there's a lot of him practicing with colors and lights and movement, so obviously shadows in this one. I got a new costume that I was very excited about, so this is like a garden at like an estate. We didn't go into the estate, but the gardens were, I mean, stunning, and they had these big hedges that you could like walk through. We also went to this like abandoned church area that had gardens. A lot of it had artwork, so that they're different than the castles in Scotland because these are thick and heavy and really not that damaged. Most of them, the estates, obviously Blenheim's not damaged. This estate had a church on it as well that we got to peek into. But it's different than the ones in Scotland because in Scotland it feels like everything's been torn down because of the English, you know? But here everything is, in England and in the Cotswolds and Wales, everything is still very much there and sturdy and like viewable, I guess. So our first day we did gardens and Blenheim, and then we stayed in this adorable little hotel. We are staying in the oldest hotel in all of England. It's called the Porch Inn in Stone.
Porch House Inn.
Sorry, Porch House Inn. Let's show you our room. The guy who brought us in said it's cute. And it is so cute. It's a little short, but look how cute it is. And you get to see this town. It's so cute and quaint. Robert has to duck the whole time. What you're looking at is the inside of the Porch House Inn that we stayed in, and it's absolutely downright adorable. So I wanted everyone to be able to see the beamed ceilings, the like stone floor, and all the cute seating. It was absolutely the tavern of your dreams. Oh no, there's a giant walking amongst us. Okay, quick story about these creepy rocks. So it's a stone circle that we were like, oh, this will be cool. We'll just stop over. It's like right on the side of the road. And we got out of the car and immediately like the air felt different. It felt weirder. It felt thicker. And we like walked around this like gate and found this stone circle, and it was super creepy. And there was flies everywhere, like hundreds and hundreds of flies everywhere. It was disgusting. and there was a man in the middle of the circle doing these weird movements, and so we immediately ran away. We were like, no, we're not trying to get murdered. It was too sketchy, so that was a fun story. Okay, and we're back in the Cotswolds. Look at these cute little villages, like this house. Look at this cute door, and then bam, this is where we stayed night 2 at this freaking castle. Although it was pretty much not important. There's like a plaque inside that says like, nothing important happened here, which is both good and bad. So it was beautiful, but it never had any historical significance or anything. And there was actually a wedding happening right then and there. We also went up to Gloucester, and this is Gloucester Cathedral. Harry Potter was filmed in part of the cathedral. I tried to keep the pictures in order, but alas, it became too difficult. So you'll see the hallways eventually. This is part of that cathedral again. We also went to a castle called Sudley Castle. It's worth a look up. It's where Henry VIII's 6th wife, Anne Catherine Parr, was where she got remarried and had one of her children, which is super cool. This is Sudley Castle that you're looking at. The right is the cathedral. Hey, there's that hallway I was talking about. The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. It's that hallway. And now we're back in the Cotswolds. I know, and I'm sorry that the pictures are all out of order, but look at these villages. You can tell it's the Cotswolds because it's stunning. Back at Sudley Castle. So we really enjoyed the Cotswolds. If we moved anywhere, I would want to move to the Cotswolds because they're just so quaint and adorable. And we've decided that people have to just retire there because there's no way you could live there with like a real job. I mean, it's right outside London, so you could take the hour-and-a-half drive into London, but you'd have to be rich as sin. Oh, this is a cool picture because it is an old market. And I thought that was cool. It was like a medieval market town, and they had the old market still. Robert, it's a lot of pictures of me because Robert liked his camera, and he wanted to be a photographer, and I felt so cool having my picture taken, like I had paparazzi or something. And at Sudley, which is where all the pictures of me in the green and the black are, in Sudley I should have worn a costume because it was a spectacular castle with a cathedral, or with like a small church where Catherine Parr was buried, and it had like all these birds, like it had a pheasant tree. So it had like a bunch of pheasants, different types of pheasants from different places. You'll also see me standing next to a tiny village. That's the model village. It's an exact replica of one of the villages in the Cotswolds. And so like when, say, the pharmacy in the real village is getting renovated, they'll renovate the pharmacy in like this tiny village, which is funny because I was talking to my mom and she was like, oh, I saw this picture of you in that tiny village, and in my mind I was like, oh yeah, like aren't the villages cute? And she was like, no, it's literally a small village. I said, oh, the model village. So it's like a big main attraction for them is this model village. That's where Catherine Parr is buried, in that church right there. I saw where she's buried. And of course the humidity loved my hair. Welcome to Carefully Castle. It is the largest castle in Britain. Allow me to show you. Again, sorry the pictures aren't in order, but this I'm pretty sure is Carefully. Robert's better at knowing which castles are which and where they are on the map. He's good at that part, which is why he's the driver. Okay, they said it's a 5 to 10 minute walk. We're cutting it in half. 2.5 minutes. Here we go. Up a mountain to the next castle. So the reason we were so rushed in the second to last video that you saw is because we had like 5 castles to get through, and they all opened at 10 but closed at 5, and they were like 3 hours apart, or like 30 minutes apart, so like 3 hours total. So we were rushing to get to different castles, and a lot of them are ornate, like very, very decorated. Even the castles, like not just the estates. So like this one's a castle, this one is an estate library. See how they don't actually look that different? But of course, had to get 2 pictures of the books. So it was interesting to see that they didn't look that different. This one's huge, of course. And then I got a parking ticket because we parked in handicapped by accident. But it was in Welsh. So how are we supposed to know that it was for handicapped people? Well, we're in Wales. That's it. There's a small sign. There's Robert, looking like a tourist. Here's the castle. Dun, 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 dun. Notice how it continues. What a beautiful day. A couple clouds here and there. And then there's that. Can you see the absolute storm happening to our left? This bird just landed on Robert's window. Don't open it. Robert, what if it comes inside? It's beautiful. Stop. Okay, we're trying to hit like 6 castles. Everything closes at 5, and so we're having to move really, really quickly. This is castle number 1. This is Crickheath, in Crickheath, and this is a hustle. Come on, team, let's go.
Where's Safari Sally?
Oh.
It's a long way up.
Oh. Come on.
Anyway, we went through the Cotswolds for 2 days and then Wales in 2 days, and so we saw most of our castles in Wales. We spent some time in Bath, England, and in Cardiff, Wales. But in one of the castles, Robert heard these Americans talking, and so he said, "Hey, what's your last name?" to this random American. And the guy was like, and Robert goes, "It's Warburton, isn't it?" And the guy was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, so your son is married to my cousin Dorothy." And so here's a picture of us with Andrew's dad. It was in a random castle in northern Wales. We were on a time crunch, so it's amazing that we actually got to see him because we were like rushing through each one. I had a timer on my phone, so when the timer went off, we had 5 minutes to get to the car and get to the next spot. That is how like serious we were about getting to these different castles on time, because I was seeing my castles. You bet your bottom dollar. Also, we went to this one. This is Dad's favorite bedroom, or not bedroom, room in the castle, the bathroom. This one we saw on Instagram a bunch, and so we were like, we've got to go look. But look how cute this village is. I mean, seriously. Anyway, we went to this one castle, and we were like, oh, this must be so old. And it wasn't. It was this guy in the 1800s who loved the medieval period, who built a medieval castle, but like it's not old. Like it was on the, the foundation of a Roman fort or whatever. But it wasn't even that old. It was from like the 1800s, and he like decked it out. And it was like their summer home was this like big castle, but had a bunch of stairs and it had no guest rooms. So there wasn't even a way to like, he could have a dinner party in this beautiful ornate dining room, but there was nowhere for his guests to stay, so they would have to just like go back down. Oh, these are the baths in Bath. It's still technically functional, but gross. Also in Bath, we got to go to a fashion museum, which was so cool. It had like 100 articles of clothing from starting in like the early 15s, I think, and so it was authentic, and it was really interesting to watch how fashion's changed and what influenced them. There's us in the fashion museum. My mom was like, "That's a new costume." I said, "No, it's just from the fashion museum." But the village, obviously, all the villages are what Robert was like in love with taking photographs of. He did a lot of artsy stuff where he would like get at an angle and try to get the light to hit whatever just right, like in this window, or like there's one called like the Unicorn Hotel or something right here that he was like, or the old post office, he's like, I'm gonna get a good angle on this one. And so watching him like practice with color and lighting was actually kind of fun, but it's annoying a little bit, but fun nonetheless. But we went into also in Gloucester Cathedral. We felt bad because we went straight to the Harry Potter spot, but above the Harry Potter spot there's like this passageway that you can like whisper in. And so I can stand on one side of the passageway, and then across the cathedral, Robert can stand on the other, and if I whisper, he can hear me. So, like, the acoustics are perfect for talking, which is weird. Also, this is the bath. Gross, like I said. A lot of people, and it was very, very, very warm, like, near the baths. But anyway, so, as I was saying, you can whisper and hear it, and so that was cool. And so I was encouraging everyone that I saw. I was like, you guys have got to come. Go upstairs, try the secret vault, like, whatever. Try the little whispering wall. It was cool. Quite cool. And it didn't rain really on us at all, which was, surprising, because we both thought Wales would be like soggy, gross, wet, but it wasn't. It was nice and sunny for the most part, freezing cold. I mean, cold to my bones, but still nice, still sunny outside, which was pleasant. I definitely didn't like having to wear pants and a jacket all of the time. I didn't want to be super cold, but oh well. So one of the nights we stayed in an Airbnb, I think in Raglan, and we had to walk to dinner, which was fine. But the lady was like, oh, it's really easy, you just follow the walking path. And we were like, yeah, of course, sure, walking path. Well, we got lost, so we ended up walking like through this like brambles and through like the trees. We had to hop a couple fences, and of course, once we got to the dinner, we were like, oh, this is the walking path. Like, we popped out right next to it, so we knew how to get back. But we got down there, and the food was like absolute trash. Like, you'll see a picture eventually of me like holding up this like tiny little little bird, cooked bird that was Robert's. It was like dove or something nasty, I don't know. And mine was ham, this big ham thing. So we were still pretty hungry. And the lady cooked us a vegan breakfast, which was yummy. The pancakes were nice, but like I needed something a little earthier, heartier. On our way back up from dinner, we met this amazing man. His name was Colin. He's an angel. His wife died last year, and he's lonely, and so we talked to him until the sun set, and his daughter was there, luckily, so like, she was about to come back. She had gone into town for something. He was adorable, and I cried the entire walk back because I just wanted him to be happy and to feel love, but he was our favorite person that we met on this entire journey because he was so kind, and he just wanted to tell us about his world and his farm and the cows that he would go and talk to, you know, when he was lonely. And then he told us about the rose garden that his wife used to make, and she had raspberries and all this stuff. I mean, it was just, he was the sweetest little old man, and it was, I just could eat him alive. He was adorable. Anyway, so this is on the beach. I don't remember where that was, but I know that it was on the beach because I ran on that beach, and it's all rocks, and so I was confident I was going to break my leg the entire run. We tried to exercise twice, but of course the times I tried to exercise, it was like freezing cold or like sticky and wet, so not for me. My hair, on the other hand, loved the sticky and wetness, right? It was thriving with the humidity. I didn't have to do it like at all. Although around my face curled so much that I ended up looking like a boy. So there's me with my toboggan on, looking like a boy. I told Lainey I looked like Edward. I sent her a picture. Mom was like, I look like my brother. Everyone says that, so that's fun. At least I know what I would look like as a dude. Anyway, some of the castles were obviously in ruins. I know I said before that like they were the least in ruins, but like the ones that were in ruins were like decimated, right? And Robert, of course, took pictures of me in my costume. Loved it. We went to this one garden that you're looking at now. It was incredible, and it was huge, and there was no way that we would get to see all of it, so we just had to bail. I mean, we were like, we can't see all of this. We'd spend 6 hours here, so we just have to leave. And then we went to this other one that was huge, and somehow we ended up like in the same spot 4 times. Like, we're not sure how. We went around and around and around, and all of a sudden, boom, we were back exactly where we started, which was super confusing because it was so big, and we even had a map. And I don't know how to read a map, but it was very, very, very like disorienting to be like, oh, look where we are, right back in the same, tower that we were in 2 minutes ago. And then it got cold again. So obviously I had a fun time running around in my costume. That was day 1. It got colder, so I didn't really costume up that much. Plus my corset, I had to like string every single time, which was a bit of a pain, if I may say so myself. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, the castle there's that picture I said. Remember he took one of the unicorn whatever? This is me in front of the Instagram famous castle, but he made me get out of it for his better shots. So, but this castle right here that you're looking at, it went on and on and on. It was one of the longest castles in Wales, maybe in the UK. And so, like, you started at one point and you walked for like it was like a mile and a half long. Which, if my dad were here, I would say, Dad, how much is that in square feet? Or what is it? Not square feet, acres. How many acres is a mile? But so it just like kept going and going and going and going. In one direction, though. It wasn't like a big square. It was just like a long runway. Because they kept adding on. They'd have like an original gate, and then they would add on and have a whatever, and then whatever. And so I costumed up like 2 more times, but it was a lot. And it was really cold, and by the end of it, like the closer we got to northern Wales and to Scotland, it was chilly. So costuming was pretty difficult when it was that cold. This is us. This was the field outside of Colin's house. See the hot air balloon? He was so nice. He let us take pictures in his field, which was polite of him. Oh, here's our meal. There's Robert's little animal and my ham. And then this castle was really cool. We did a scavenger hunt, obviously. But when I was in my costume for this castle, a lady came up to me and she was like, hi, like, when does the tour start? How much are tickets? And I had to awkwardly be like, oh, no, actually, I am not this. That's not me. You're not looking for me. I'm sorry. Oh, this is the ceiling in that castle I told y'all about that was medieval but not medieval. Oh, and then so when we were in Cardiff, Cardiff Castle has these tunnels that's what I was trying to tell Robert to make my head look like it was on it, but he didn't understand the point. But Cardiff Castle, the walls were like they used them for bunkers during World War II, and so they like put it back how it was during World War II, and so you can walk. It's a mile of tunnels that you walk in, and they have like flickering lights, and they have like loud sirens and like the sound of bombs and the sounds of like the radio being like, today the Blitzkrieg fired on France for the 12th time in a row or whatever. And it was probably one of the most impactful experiences, like World War II experiences, because I would have been a civilian, so it was, you could see how it would have been for like you as a person, because I wouldn't have been in the war. I mean, I would have helped, but I wasn't like, fighting in the trenches. So it was really cool and scary and sad to see, like, this is what I would have had to have experienced. I would have had to experience being in this tunnel. It's funny, when I was asking Robert to remember like all the different stuff that we did so that we could, talk about it, and I could talk about it in my vlog, both of us just drew a blank because we did so much so fast. And so I think I probably should start recording, like once something funny happens, like either write it down or start recording it right then, because I feel bad, because I know that funny things happened and that there are little anecdotes I could say, but Robert and I really don't remember because we did so much so fast that, oh, that's the medieval castle, by the way, that it's hard for me to recall. I know we walked a lot of steps. Both of our ankles were super sore from walking so much because we don't walk in Saudi. But all in all, it was a really fun trip. This is obviously part 1 in Wales. The rest of it are videos, so I will let them speak for themselves. Thanks for watching.
This is Castle Combe, one of the cutest villages in Cotswolds. It's okay, keep going.
Hey, let's go to the manor house.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is where we're moving. Bye, Saudi Arabia. We're never coming back. This is unsafe. Gives that feeling, Tell me when. Once I made my move, Harry's free to check the king. Hey Robert, what are you doing? Robert, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Look. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is this crazy? I'm whispering. This is crazy. It is bathrooms.
We have seen 20 of these hallways, and we still are lost.
I think we've already been down this hallway.
We'll never know. Oh my god, it keeps going.
No, we haven't. Maybe we have. So many bathrooms. Diagonally!
I think he said diagonally, didn't he?
Look how long this hallway is. Allow me to keep walking. And walking. And walking. And walking. And walking. The occasional window. Just wide enough for arrows. I'm still going. Hi. Still going. Still going. Still going. Still going. Bam. So I went in around this corner. Somehow I missed that entrance. Just came from up there. And there's Robert. How am I? What? look, a dog. Oh 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 look, a dog. Look, a wiener dog, a wiener doggy. Look, two dogs. Oh look, dogs. Oh look, a dog. Oh look, a dog. Oh look, another dog. And another one. Oh look, a dog. Hey look, a Robert. Oh look, dogs. Oh look, a dog. 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 Oh look, sheepies.
Meh.
Oh look, a dog. Oh my god, another one.
Be fair, and then we
Oh
walk.
look, a dog. Oh look, a dog. Oh look, a doogie. Hey look, a dog. Oh look, a dog. Oh look, a dog. Look, dogs.